All right. Hi, everybody. It feels like forever since we've done a coffee and combo, and it's so good to see everyone coming
Too
in.
long,
Lots
too
of
long.
too long. Lots of familiar names coming in, some new ones. It's great to meet you. If you haven't been on a coffee and convo with us before, my name is Kate. I work at trAIn along with these wonderful TLCs. And if you don't know what TLC stands for, that's teaching and learning consultants. So these three wonderful presenters are all veteran educators, super experts in their field, and we're super excited to talk today about AI, which I know a lot of us are thinking about, talking about, learning about, and figuring out. So we're going to talk about that. Started with Scott, who's going to do some administrative considerations, and then Keisha and Angela are going to talk about some teaching tools and tricks that you can try out at your school. So I have a couple housekeeping things to get out of the way. The first one is around our coffee and convo situation. So if you are new here, to get the $5 Starbucks gift card, you needed to have registered with a valid school work email address. So that would be at the domain of your school, no Gmails or anything like that. And then secondly, you have to wait around to the end to do an exit survey. Typically doesn't take any more than 1 or 2 minutes to complete that. Just gives us a little bit of information about you and your school and some of the things going on with you, and it's super helpful for us. So make sure to stick around and do that. Secondly, is about questions. If you have questions, you can feel free to put them over in the chat. If you don't know where to find the chat, it's in that bottom bar. Pretty standard chat icon. You can click on that and enter the chat. I will be watching it throughout the session, getting any questions to our presenters. If a good time pops up for me to interject, otherwise we'll hold them till the end. We have some time for Q&A at that point. So without further ado, I will pass it over to my friend Scott.
Hey, Kate, it's so exciting to be with everybody today to talk about, I think, the topic du jour today, not only in education, but everywhere I see it. It is so exciting to be here with Kate, with Angela, with Keisha. It's awesome. Before I get started, I'm going to just pass it on to Keisha. If you want to take a quick moment to introduce yourself, say hi.
Hi, I'm Keisha Sumlin. I am a member of the TLC team at trAIn. That's our education side of the house of trAIn. I was previously an instructional technology specialist when I worked in K-12. I did that for over 20 years, and now I'm on this side of the spectrum of things.
So excited to have you there too. Angela, if you want to say a quick hi.
Hi, everybody. Angela Kaiser. I am also a teaching learning consultant on the education side. I am a former fifth grade teacher as well as a tech facilitator right here in Louisiana in Calcasieu Parish, Hill of the Boot. If you think about the boot, it's the Hill of the Boot. So, and then now here I am with AXI. Oh my gosh, I am just dating myself,
It's
trAIn.
okay.
And I'm here with trAIn, and I'm so super excited to share with everybody.
Thank you, Angela. And my name is Scott Chenard. I'm one of the teaching and learning consultants. My background, I was a middle school principal and a tech director, a tech consultant, a special ed teacher for many years. And now I work with this amazing team to talk about my passion, which is technology integration, and kind of share that experience from a tech director or a school administrator perspective, which is awesome. Well, I'm going to share my screen and we will jump right into this. All right, as we talked about, we are talking about AI tips and tools. And I think that that is something that is so relevant right now, not only in the world of education, like I said, but just seems like everywhere I turn, this is the topic. We're going to be going over a few things. I'm going to be start and kind of hopefully framing the conversation with them. What are things that we should be considering as school administrators when we're talking about technology with this integration with technology? Now, some of these principles are going to be the same as if we were talking about any other technology, but really want to hone in on how do we talk about this within the structure of AI implementation as well. Then I'm going to pass it on to Keisha, who's going to share some awesome tools, and then Angela, who's just going to kind of go deeper dive in how teachers can really leverage these awesome things. We've already done our introductions, so let's jump into it. The first thing that I always really like to start with is this discussion. I think it frames where we are as Trafera, and also something I'm deeply passionate about. We measure our success not based on how many devices we sell to schools, but how those devices are being used to enrich and transform learning. Here we are talking about this huge opportunity for transformative change in education with the implementation of AI. So I think it's huge. Where I think we have to start is where we really kind of talk about all technology implementation. But AI is right now, it's so incredibly important to have these conversations, is how can we align our technology with our vision? So a lot of times we can have something disruptive come in, like AI or this new tool or this new widget or something else, and we feel like it blows everything up from what we're doing. But that's not true. We need to say, hey, let's start with our core principles, whether there's core values, what's that vision that we have for our instruction? And now let's see how the tool can enhance that process. And if you can really reframe that conversation when you're talking about AI, it can become a powerful push forward in our innovation and our engagement rather than a hindrance. So again, starting with that vision, saying, hey, here's our core values that we're committed to. How are we going to incorporate these AI tools and principles into that vision is going to be huge for your implementation. Because whether we like it or not, it is coming, and it's here now, and it's coming quick. So make sure you're having those conversations with your teachers, with your staff, around how can we align this to our educational dreams that we have. The next one is stakeholder input. This collaborative process, when we're talking about data-driven instruction or anything else, we can lose that vision of how do we get data? How do we engage in the conversation? This is going to be like anything else. Try some of these tools, try some of these implementations. But at the same time, Kate, that's an awesome emoji. At the same time, get that feedback. Talk to people, use that feedback from people. How is it being used? Again, whether you like it or not, it is being used. How is it being used? How can you engage? And let's not forget, how can we ensure that as we use the tool, we are going back and engaging with that core principle in our values? So make sure you're always getting that input. Collect, analyze, review, design, iterate, and then go back to that again. And so really kind of making sure that you're engaged in that collaborative cycle is so important. Next one is the hidden cost. This is huge. Ignoring the price of total cost of ownership now, and Keisha and Angela are going to share some amazing tools. Some of those are going to be free. A lot of those are going to be free, if you know what I mean. So make sure that you are cognizant of these things, that there's going to be a cost, not just that initial cost, but maintenance costs and upgrades and support, this and that. Also, make sure that you are incorporating within that implementation discussions around how are you going to train? Thank you, Kate. How are you going to have that professional development engagement? Do you want to partner with someone like Trafera to have some, an amazing presenter like Angela or Keisha to kind of guide that process with your team? Or do you want to do a train the model, or are you going to do something? But make sure that you are considering that with the total cost of ownership. Because if one thing I've learned in my 20 years in education is free ain't free. So make sure that you are considering that as you're engaging with these tools. And again, there's going to be great things that we have that we bring up and discuss, but just consider the entire life cycle of these things. The next, smart planning. So critically important, so critically important. And this is where all those other things come into play, because you want to be strategic about your planning and implementation. Because what can happen, what I have seen happen, what I've talked to schools about happening, is teachers go off and they're like, oh man, have you seen this amazing new tool? I'm going to get this new tool. I'm going to start engaging this in the classroom. Then another teacher's like, oh, that's a cool tool. I'm going to Now everybody's doing it. The entire math department's doing it. Now the math head is asking the principal, hey, can we get this tool? The principal is asking the tech director, hey, can we get this tool? And then all of a sudden you've got 50 tools going around without that strategic implementation and planning to ensure that what you have out there, it's okay to have 50 tools out there if you're getting feedback and refining down to 5. But that's where you want to be. And that's where that strategic planning is so incredibly important. So make sure that you're thinking of that life cycle. Make sure that you're thinking, hey, is this a tool that's going to be actually implementable this year and next year, worth all the investment we're going to make in professional development and engagement? Are we going to make sure that we're going to be able to have this supported completely for the life cycle of our implementation? And then again, going back to that conversation about training and professional development, do we want to make sure that we have that? So really make sure you have that smart planning in that so that you just aren't bombarded constantly with tool after tool. So you'll see this, I talk about it all the time, but I think this is absolutely relevant for this conversation too. Align your technology with their vision. Don't just let AI happen, guide that process, align it to your vision. Get the stakeholder input, stakeholder power and tech decisions. This is just like if I were to get new Chromebooks or anything else, get your stakeholder input, get input from your teachers, your students, your parents, everybody involved. Don't ignore total cost of ownership. Free ain't free. Almost always. So just make sure that you're considering that. And then smart planning is just so absolutely critical when we're talking about that. Make sure that you are leading that process, guiding that process. And I think just like I always say this quote from George Kears, technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. That's absolutely true. And I'll absolutely see it. So excited. I'm going to hand this off to Keisha, who's going to share some awesome solutions for you. All right. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Good morning, everyone. Again, I'm going to go over with you right now. Let me just give you a little housekeeping. We're doing a little transferring of everything right now, so it's going to take just a few moments. But I'm going to talk to you today about one tool in particular. We're going to talk about Copilot today. There are so many AI tools out there. You can play with everything out there if you like, just to see what fits you best. I will give you some additional tools at the end of this. But for those of you that are already using the Microsoft 365 tool, just know Copilot is already in there for you. And that's some things that we're going to look at today. Okay, here we go. So as Scott stated, AI will not take the place of great teachers, but if you get that technology in the hand of great teachers, you just explode. And that's what we want teachers to do. We want you to take what you have and put what you have into AI to move your class or to move your school forward. And some things that AI can do for you is to enhance your teaching practices and improve student outcomes. And is that not our purpose of showing up every day? We want to make sure that we enhance our teaching practices and improve our student outcomes, definitely to improve our student outcomes. So some things that we can do with AI, I have listed here. I won't go through this entire list, but the biggest things for me is the personalized learning. That's why I have it first on there. So for example, when you're creating those lesson plans, we know at a certain time of the year, like right now, when it's springtime, everybody is getting that little spring fever. So you're not operating mentally like you were in September or in August. You're kind of dying down now. It's also testing time. So what does my lesson plan look like for my students? Or what kind of things can I plan for my students after they finish testing? You know, we have to have something for them to do. Is it just reading a book? Are we going somewhere to the gym and we're all sitting in there? What do I want my students to be doing? So I might not be able to think of something creative at that time. Well, let me get some help. I'm going to let AI help me a little bit. So as I stated, we're going to talk about what Copilot can do for us. Hold on one moment. We're having a little technical difficulty. I'm going to let Angela handle those slides while I continue to talk to you about Copilot. And as soon as we get Copilot back up, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm referring to. And I just want a little side note. This, of course, would happen on my first chat and coffee, but that's okay. We'll get everything worked out. So within Copilot, as I stated, if you're already using Microsoft tools, Copilot is built directly into that Microsoft tool. So for example, if you have a Word document already up, in the upper right-hand corner, you will see Copilot, the word Copilot. And all you'll have to do is click on that word Copilot, and then you can go in to use that AI tool within Copilot. So, okay, so we're coming up. Thing to remember, again, if you're using Office, is that it is embedded, integrated directly into what you're already using. And how this helps you is that if you're using Word, you get stuck on something, you don't have to worry about it. You can just click on that Copilot tool. You can ask it, okay, please create my last paragraph or this third paragraph or even the second paragraph. And within that second paragraph, I would like for you to, whatever it is that you're looking for it to do. You can also change the tone. So we're going from a formal tone to a more casual tone. You can be as specific as you would like when you're putting your information into that AI tool. And again, being that it's already embedded, integrated directly in your Microsoft app, just click next, and then it pulls up everything that you need. The thing to remember when you're using AI, I always tell teachers, this is so important to me, is that you be specific. Be as specific as you like. When you're writing lesson plans, and of course, you know, it depends on the school that you're in or the district that you're in when you're writing lesson plans, how specific they want you. I've been in some schools and they say, for every topic or whatever, I want the standard to that and then cross standard it with something else. So if you have to do all of those things, put that information into AI as well. Tell it to include, I'm in Georgia, so I would tell it to include the Georgia Standards of Learning for 6th grade ELA or things like that. You can be that specific when you're working with AI tools. If you're using Excel, and we all know this is the world of education, we always have data. There is data in everything in education. When they give us that Excel spreadsheet, I can ask them to pull out all of my students that scored a particular thing, and then I can just go through those students because I know that they're going to need some type of remediation. So I can just work with those students that we pulled out. And how great is this that our PowerPoint is back up. So this is great. All right. So let's talk about a good prompt. And I'm going to come back to all of the things that I was talking about. When you have a good prompt and you're very specific with your prompt, that's giving you a higher chance that AI will give you the response that you need. So the thing is also when you're using, let me make sure I can. All right. So make sure that you're using a good prompt. Once you give it a good prompt, in Copilot, the thing at the bottom of Copilot, you're going to see on there, it's going to tell you if you want it to be creative, specific, different types of things like that, depending on whatever it is that you're working on. And even after you've gotten that response, if you wanted to get something additional or you want more information that wasn't given in that, go ahead and type that additional information. Add whatever, add your standards, add the different things that you need that wasn't given. Another thing I want you to remember about AI, just some friendly reminders I like to point out. Thank you, Kate. Some friendly reminders I like to point out is that when you're being specific, don't be too hard on yourself. If this is your first time using AI, start off with something small. It doesn't have to be anything work related. You can tell it to find the movies in whatever area. Just start off with something small. Always start. Don't ever be afraid of it. Start with something and then move on from there, and then just continue to build on there, and you will grow to be a good prompt promoter is what I like to call it. Okay. So I think this is more at the end of my slide. And we're kind of going backwards. So I apologize if this is confusing in any kind of way. My email will be on here at the end. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to go over any of these things again. So as I was stating, in Copilot at the very bottom, when you're putting things into Copilot, you have 3 different options. You can be creative, balanced, or precise, depending on what you want. I always ask teachers to start off with balance, because that's the simplest thing when you're working on something, because it gives you more of the response from an educator's perspective to me. So that's why I always say start off. Now, what we're looking at right now, if you notice, can we just go back one? What we're looking at right now is, as Scott stated, there's a price. Nothing is free. So there's a price to everything. So as I stated in the beginning, Copilot is integrated, embedded directly into Microsoft, but that's a paid version. So if your school is already using the paid version, then that's phenomenal. But if you're not, and you want to start off somewhere and you are a Microsoft district, or even if you're not a Microsoft district, you just want to see what Copilot has to offer, you just go into microsoftcopilot.com, which is what you'll see here. This is the free version. And as Scott stated over and over again, free is not always free. So of course, you know, you're not going to get all, I hate to say all into the weeds, but you're not going to get everything that you need directly from the free version. And of course, if it's already integrated in PowerPoint, I can just tell it, okay, create a 5-slide presentation on enhancing educational tools or different things like that. And then I can go from there. But from here, I would have to be specific to say what it is that I'm looking for. Am I looking for a Word document? Am I looking for PowerPoint? Do I want an Excel spreadsheet? What is it that I'm looking for them to produce for me? And that's the free version when you're using it. So don't be afraid if in the beginning, my slides would have shown this, but in the beginning, when I showed you the previous slides where it already had already had Copilot integrated in there, that is the paid version, which is this little screen right here. In the upper right-hand corner, this is just Word. And if you notice across the top, most of Office banners or their toolbars look the same. So the last upper right-hand, last thing that you're going to see on all of them, all of the Microsoft tools, even Teams, is that Copilot. And when you're using Teams, a lot of you probably use Teams if you were having meetings with your teachers, or you're doing small group things, or some of you might be still doing the virtual learning when it's a snow day or something. I know there's still snow in some areas of the world. So if you're still doing snow days virtually and you're using Teams, a lot of times you just want to ask Teams to summarize everything that you've gone over. What if that student isn't absent and you use Teams? Summarize what I've gone over, and then I can just send that information over to the student that missed. Okay, so we can jump on down. Okay, so some challenges, of course, as we know, we don't sit on this side of the world thinking that everything is great in education. We do know when we give you these new tools that there are some challenges in using them. The biggest thing probably now is, of course, the lack of training and the familiarity. Of course, it's going to not work today, but that you're not familiar with AI tools and you just need training. It's just like anything else. When we're learning something new is out there. What does that training look like? I came from the instructional technology world, so I had to be on top of everything that was new out there. But I would make sure that I would ask my teachers, what is it that you were looking for from me? There are district things that you have to do that we know, but there are some things that you want to know from a teaching perspective. When you're asked by your professional learning department or your instructional team, whatever it is, what is it that you would like training on throughout the year? Be specific. If you see something new out there, AI is definitely new. It's going to forever be changing. I'm attending these Copilot meetings regularly, and it's always something changing, or they found out something and then they're going to work on it. Definitely ask for that training on that. And also, when you're going through these AI tools, especially with Copilot, let Microsoft know if there's a problem or if there's more that you need from that, because they are researching all of those things all the time. As usual, teachers is education. We're always worried about privacy and ethical. Are they keeping what I'm saying? Are they going to use it against me later on? The answer is no within Copilot. How do I integrate this into my curriculum and resources? What does that look like? That might not have been studied like overall, but that's something that you can do within your district. Again, our team is here to help you if you need us to help you with that. And access and equity, just like anything else in education. So we know there are challenges out there. We are here to assist you wherever we can. Also, use all the tools that are out there. YouTube, there are a lot of YouTube videos out there on Copilot. If you want to go to the Microsoft website, there are videos on there. There's learn.microsoft.com. So there are different resources that you can use to assist. Next slide. The thing to remember with AI is, the thing to remember with AI, which is very important, it saves you time. And that's something as educators that we don't have a lot of. We know we are teaching kids all day, and then the district has additional things for us to do. The school has additional things for us to do, and then kids need additional assistance. So we don't always have the time to sit down and do all the things that we want to do. So utilize AI. Utilize AI to save you some time on some things. It's not cheating. Don't ever look at it to yourself as it's cheating, because you are the expert that has to put the information in AI. Always remember that you're the person putting it in AI, so it's definitely not cheating. You're telling it exactly what you want it to do. But it's also stimulating the minds of your kids, which is what we're here to do. Okay, this comes directly, as I stated, if ever you needed training or you just had some questions, just quick things that you want to go look at, this came directly from the Microsoft Educator, 5 ways to use Copilot. Again, I stated that personalized learning, you can tailor those teaching materials exactly how you want it. Whatever that worksheet is that we use for 50 years, it's time to jazz up that worksheet a little bit. What is that going to look like? I can put that into AI and get some extra information on that. Lesson planning is always number 2. I know that's number 2 for me, but in a lot of teachers' eyes, that's always number 1, because it can get so in depth. If that's where you want to start with AI, definitely start there. Some brainstorming things. You know, we can't always get together and talk about things, but you have a tool to help you with that. Providing feedback and instant knowledge. So again, these came directly from the Microsoft Educator newsletter. You can get these regularly so they can show you some new things that you can use using some new things you can do using Copilot. Next slide. So I also wanted to leave you with some additional AI resources. These are just some things that I play with, some different AI tools that you can go in and work with. You can just take a little quick screenshot, or you can send me an email. I'd be happy to send these over to you. These are just a few. So you know there are several. A lot of people just think that it's Copilot and ChatGPT. No, there's lots of things out there that you can use if you don't want to use those two. If you just want to get specific on some things that you want to do, like trip notes, you can always use that for a travel planner. So that's just some options here. Again, take a quick screenshot, or if you'd like me to send those to you, I'll be happy to, or some others that I've come across, I'll be happy to send you those as well. And I'll send it on over to Angela. Thank you guys for listening.
All right. Yeah. And Keisha, what you said was so important about use it to our benefit of what we're doing in our classrooms. And if you're not ready to take that deep dive, I will tell you, I was horrible at creating rubrics, horrible at it. If I would have had, Copilot and ask it to create me a rubric on this project that we're doing, oh my gosh, I would have saved myself so much time and energy. I mean, I know there's rubric sites out there, but now I got an assistant, a teaching assistant that will help me create this rubric, and it won't be, I'm in the middle of grading with my rubric and it's the stupidest thing ever. So I'm so happy to know that we have it as an asset and not as something that's taboo in our classrooms if we use it efficiently and effectively. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some tools that are already on your Windows 11 device on that HP. These are things that if you go into your Windows toolbar and you look inside your applications, you're going to find these within your Windows, your HP Windows 11 device. So the first one I'm going to show you is what's called Designer. So Designer, it's built into Copilot as well, but it also has its own separate application on your device. So it's an AI powered graphic design tool for you. And it creates these visuals and it's easy to use. It's a drag and drop interface and it's everything from simple images to big complex graphics. So when you're looking at that, oh, it's a little slow, hang on. So when you go into Designer, the first thing you're going to see, and it's very, if you look at it and you compare Copilot to Designer, it's got that same interface. So it's got that familiarity. So we're doing anything from creating an image to creating stickers. Oh my gosh, we love stickers these days, don't we? So let's create our own stickers, and then and then removing backgrounds. It's built in now to this Designer. A lot of your things that you have right now, PowerPoint has a remove background. So I'm not going to another resource and then hopping back into my tab and uploading it, download, upload, blah, 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 all that stuff. I can do that right there within Designer. If you want to design, if you're doing anything like a card or, anything, you could do that in Designer and make it look really good. The newest thing that's coming soon is the album creator. And I think that's really cool. If you have a bunch of pictures and you want to create something really phenomenal, album creator is coming up. So that's going to be fun. End of the year, you're going to do stuff. So here's something that I did. I took their prompts, almost like Mad Libs in a way. I took their prompt and I just said that I wanted an origami diorama of New Orleans and I wanted it to be colorful and things like that. And look what popped up, y'all. Look how beautiful that is. And so I was like, oh, this is easy. I could, create this stuff. Our students create this stuff. If your students are on the artistic side of things, let them show their knowledge through Designer and show you what they know through Designer. So it's a simple, like I said, it's a fill in the blank when it comes to designing for the first time. So don't be intimidated by what you see. Try out one of the things that already have and let it generate for you. And of course you can edit the prompt, but like here's one. I just clicked on it's the bird and it's like simple folk style illustration and I could put hummingbird in it instead of bluebird. So like I said, it's that Mad Libs kind of fill in the blank so you could get your creative side going, right? And be just amazing at designing art for your slideshows or for that 50-year-old workbook page that we've been using for forever. Jazz it up a little bit. So I like the ease of use. I like the idea of I don't have to be at a blank canvas. I can put in what I need and get out something beautiful out of it. Okay, come on. The next one I'm going to show you is one that's already, like I said, these things are already on your HP Windows 11 device. And one is called Clipchamp. And Clipchamp is your video editor, and it's designed to make video editing easy. So you can upload images and videos and everything, and your finished product is actually saved on your computer. And then you can also add their stock music and their sound effects. You can overlay. And this is all found if you go down to the bottom to your Windows icon, you're going to find Clipchamp in that Windows 11 application list. So things that you can do with it is you can create your new video from scratch. So if you're into video editing, if you're into video creating, this is your new tool that's free for you because you have a Windows 11 computer or device. Or you can let Clipchamp do it for you. by using the AI that's embedded into Clipchamp. So I can do anything from trimming, I can do things like overviews with it, I can do embedding, I can even do subtitles if I wanted to within the Clipchamp um, application. I can put in overlays, I could do slideshows, I can do all of these things with Clipchamp. So it makes it really, really easy for me when I'm ready to dig into there, and I can make that blank canvas into something that I feel is art, and really elevate your way that you use your editing tools and things. I used it recently for a video that I put together. I uploaded it and I just edited it down to, the pieces that I needed, and it was really easy to use. So I was really excited about it. Now I didn't have to do anything style or anything like that, but I'm really excited to dig in and do something a little deeper. So because I could do these overlays and I can put in all of these frames and graphics and stickers and things like that and make them appear when I want them to appear. So I can make something really valuable for my classroom, um, if I truly wanted to. So the other thing I want to talk to you about is what's embedded into some of those applications that you already have. So like as Keisha said, Copilot is going to be in every single one of your applications in your Microsoft suite. So before all of Copilot came out, we already had kind of some features. There's some, design features and things like that. So if you haven't noticed in your PowerPoint, you might have noticed that when you're first open up a new PowerPoint, it gives you on the side, it gives you some design ideas that you can use. Just saves you time, because for me, having a blank canvas is it's just daunting for me. So to have that design mode, to have that me put in my images and my words, and then the designer right there in that toolbar, that ribbon, that designer shows me, hey, do it this way, or it might look better this way. So it allows me to keep to those ideas that we've always had, um, and that we've taught ourselves of minimal, less is more kind of thing. This helps with that. And it just makes it look a little bit more professional and a little bit more jazzy, I guess. I'm all the way about making it look good. I'm a font junkie. So, these are the things that I love, is that it could help me and save me some time with it. So it also has within PowerPoint, there is what's called Rehearse with Coach. It'll provide you feedback as you practice, and it examines how you talk. It examines if you've got empty words like if you're constantly using it'll let you know. It will also let you know if what you're saying is suggestive, or if it might be a little brash, those kind of things. It will let you know, and it will let you know about your pacing. So it'll give you at the end, it gives you a complete feedback notes on how you did and some pointers for yourself. So, it might tell me to talk a little more. Oh, let me go back. It might tell me to talk a little slower, or right now what it does is it's not showing me my hands. And so might have tell me, Angela, put your hands down, but it doesn't do that because it doesn't show video. So, but it lets you know how you're working. It lets you know what words you're saying more of. And so you can rehearse it again, do it again, do it again. This is great for kids, by the way, when they're about to do a project and they're about to have to be in front. So another thing is always use subtitles. That transcribes the presentation for you. You can always translate into another language too, if you wanted to. So if you're doing a presentation and you have a lot of your demographic is strong English as a second language, demographics, put in your subtitles, let it translate into the language for you, make them feel comfortable. So Another thing is immersive reader. Immersive reader can be found in everything. And immersive reader now has for a while now it has reading coach, and reading progress is now a part of teams in your education part. So you can turn on reading coach and have the kids read for you, and then it gives the reading report for you for your kids, and it even has an area where the kids can practice their words. So I really like that. I was an ELA teacher. This would have been phenomenal for me, for my kids, for my fifth graders, especially those who were reading below fifth grade level. So, done it, Kate. We did
Amazing. We did it. All right. We did it. Well, thank you for sticking with us through all those a couple technical difficulties. I know we're a little bit over time, but I would be remiss if I didn't take a minute to talk a little bit about our sponsors. So thank you, HP, who sponsored this session. We do a whole lot with HP. We're an authorized services provider of HP, so we can take all of your HP warranty things. We can do all of the repairs there. We can do training on HP, and then we also have, great pricing and availability. So if you're looking to bring any of these AI tools, especially those baked in ones that Angela was talking about at the end, into your classroom, give us a call and let us know. But I'm going to launch our exit survey while I talk a little bit about some of our upcoming webinars. Super excited about some of those. So let's launch this. And as a reminder, if you want to get that coffee, you do have to take this exit survey. So I will do some yada yada-ing while you complete that survey. But here is our lineup of webinars for the next 2 months. We have some really good ones coming up. So one this week, we have a couple other TLCs, Kristen and Lindsay, who really focus on interactive flat panels. They're going to talk about their favorite thing, New Line Interactive. So that's going to be super fun. They're sharing some of their tips, some of their favorite tools and apps and things like that. It's going to be super fun, super cash, and another opportunity to get some coffee. So join us for that. We have one next week, next Wednesday. If you're on kind of the administration side, the tech side, IT coordinators, this one's going to be for you. We're talking about a super exciting integration that we have with Incident IQ. So you're now able to manage all of your Trafera warranties through Incident IQ, which is such a time saver, such a tech stack minimizer, and it's just people are super excited about it. We're going to be demoing that and talking a little bit about it next week. Scotty's going to be jumping on that one, so that'll be fun. Then starting in April, we have we're super excited about these. We have some great sessions with some influencers out there. We have Holly Clark. I don't know if you know her, have seen her keynote or read any of her books, but she is an author and speaker and just kind of Google guru who is going to be talking about AI tools within the Google environment. So today we were a little focused on the Microsoft environment, but if you're a Chromebook school, we're going to be talking about some of the tools in Workspace like Gemini and things like that. And that's going to be super fun with Holly Clark. That's April 10th. And then following that in May, we have Eric Kurtz coming on to talk about Chromebook accessibility features. So some of the things that are baked into Chromebooks that make Chromebooks ready for any and every learner. And they're both super engaging presenters, super fun people, and we're really looking forward to that. If you are interested in signing up for any of those, they're all coffee and convos. That's $20 for coffee. That could get you like one whole coffee this time, depending on your order. Anyway, but if you're interested in signing up for those, scan that QR code, or you can go to our website under the events tab, and we have all of these available for you to register for. But thank you so much again. I know we're way over time, but thank you for joining us, for being here, for continuing to come back to our sessions. Thank you so much to our presenters as well. Tons of fun. We have got more coming up, and thanks again to our sponsor, HP. So reach out to us if you have any questions or want to get started on bringing HP tools to your school. And otherwise, we'll turn off our cameras. We'll let the survey run for a little bit longer and give you back your time. Okay. Bye, everyone.